Oh, wow. Well, decided to come on live. Been a minute. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Donna. How are you? I decided to go live. First time in a year and a half, almost. Yeah, a year and a half. My plans got canceled this morning. So I was supposed to be bowling with my daughter, but I decided to jump on live for a little while. It has been a while. Great to hear. Great to hear. I am good. I'm really good. I'm just working hard, doing the therapy thing and trying to help as many people as possible. Um, Good to see you as well. I have been just trying to work on some things behind the scenes. I stay busy. It's been difficult. I I decided to get on live. It's harder. It's trying to answer all these responses to things, and so decided to just come on for a little while and answer any questions that anybody may have. It's been a little bit. But hope all is well with you. Hope that you're having a wonderful Sunday. Yeah, I think it's the first time going live in like a year and a half or something like that. Maybe that long, I'm not sure. I'm working on private community and things of that nature, but have to see. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that. And how have things with you? How have you been? What have you been up to? I think for me, I've set so many goals for the new year that it sometimes can be very hectic, while at the same time trying to stay up on all that's going on to try to keep myself as informed as possible. And then, of course, there's the breaks from technology as well, just to meditate and relax. Mm, mm, mm. So it has been minutes. I actually got to figure out how to work this again. It's been so long. I'm over here touching buttons like a little kid. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Good morning. Happy New Year, by the way. That's the first time I try to. Good to hear. Good to hear. Hope things are well. Appreciate it. How are you and the wife doing? Yeah, I decided to come on this morning. My plans got canceled. We're supposed to go to Jersey and bowl with my daughter today. I'm wearing one of her custom designs on a bowling jersey. She actually created this here. And so, but the weather's bad, so we decided not to take the drive to Jersey. Might just go out and grab some lunch later on before we shut it down to get ready for this weather. How are you? You prepared for this weather, John? Look like it's going to be crazy. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's about where it's going to be. I got to send out some emails and text messages to clients. So it looks like I'll be working telehealth tomorrow. But it looks like the wife and daughter will have another snow day. So I'm going to go get the cars prepped and throw the salt down and mix up some water, alcohol, and dishwashing liquid to wipe down the steps so I can get away from the icing. We're going to see what happens. The weather is what it is. You never know when these weathermen are going to hit it right and predict a storm that's actually going to be what they say it is, but you still got to prepare for it. Hope you and the family are doing well. I have a bit inside of work I can do, but glad it's snowing on me. Gotcha. I understand. I'm coming off a couple of good weeks since the last snow, but you know, the ability to work from home helps. So I don't have to lose too much money, but there are clients I can't see because of the weather that they don't do telehealth. So good morning, Miss Lakeisha. How are you? Hope everything is well with you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for liking the live, Don. Yeah, I just decided to come on, guys. It's been a year and a half or more since I've been live. I post every day, but I don't come on live. Thank you. It's great to be seen, as they say. Blessings to you as well. I pray the Lord is covering you in every way possible, and that you are doing all the things that your heart desires. But yeah, it's been it's been a year. I think a year and yeah, definitely a year and a half, maybe longer. I'm not sure since I've been live. I mean, I post what I post and respond to what I respond, and then I get off. It's how I stay in the slow lane on these internet streets. And Sister Lakeisha, how's things with you? Hope everything is going well. Hope business is well and everything else. Hope everything is going to your liking. Good morning, number one sunshine girl. Good morning to you as well. Thank you for joining me. I'm just hanging out. No theme, no nothing. I just wanted to come on and say hi. My plans got canceled this morning, so I decided to come on, spend some time with you guys. I know it's been some time. I get all the messages about come back to doing lives on Friday, and thank you for the hearts going up. Appreciate it. And if you guys don't remember, yes, I have ADD, so sometimes I see everything and things are going well. Oh no, thank you. I'm glad to know that. I root for everybody. There is space and room for everybody to get the things. Swipe right to view interactions. Okay. There's enough room for everybody to meet their success and do what they got to do. My first time catching you live. Well, it's actually the first time I've been live in over a year and a half. So thank you for stopping by. Pleasure to talk to you, Lex. Glad you're here. Yeah, I used to go live every Friday, almost 2 years ago, every Friday morning. And then when I moved back into private practice, I decided that going live and working out of an office, I have staff meetings every other Friday. And then I now see clients on Friday, which I started a few months back. So I just decided that something had to give. Plus, I'm not big. I have to know that what I'm doing matters. And sometimes sitting on live, even though I enjoy the interaction, I don't know if that is the greatest use of my time. And I found that I was like, I got to make a decision one way or the other. Now, I am working on some private communities. I'm working on some things that I can control away from some of the social media sites because I want to be able to invite adults to come and have adult conversations, but without all the drama and without an algorithm telling me who I can talk to, who I can't talk to. And also, I don't want an overseer. I hope that makes sense. When you're on the social media platforms, you have a technological overseer who's analyzing every word. And if they deem a word unacceptable, you're blocked or you're unable to go live or whatever the situation is. I'm not doing that. And I've said before, I hate that we have to change our language or the use of language to be on an acceptable site. So those words start to work their way into our everyday conversation. That's a poor use of the English language, and I'm not a big fan of that. And I think it hurts more than it helps. So when you have people who, yes, spell out certain words, that's the educator in me as well. So yes, 100%. And so when you have folks saying unaliving, if you're on TikTok, you know what that means. But then you're getting away from the actual words that are supposed to be used. And we need those words and we need to be able to express ourselves with the use of those words because we're giving control, whether folks want to believe that or not, to how we speak to technology. It's supposed to be the other way around. So one of the things that we got a flash goal. Let me see. I don't know what a flash goal is. Let me check. Okay. Whatever that is. 3 gifters have sent goat to your live in 15 minutes. Okay. But I think, and these are the things that we have to be able to stand on and fight for, especially those in the marginalized communities, people of color, and other folks who are in low economic situations. You have to fight for your freedom of intellectual thought. Lose that, you truly lose yourself. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the gifts. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy being live. I just don't like control. I've always been a nonconformist. And again, everyone here, thank you. Ashley, thank you for the roses. I appreciate you. Thank you. And when you come in, introduce yourself and tell me how you're doing. Also, let me know where everybody is at. Where's everybody in the country? I am in Delaware. We're expecting snow, a lot of snow. So I'm on the East Coast. So let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know where things are. St. Louis. Okay. No, I have not been to St. Louis. I have not. Missouri. I have not. Arkansas. I have not, but I've done business with a couple of churches in Arkansas. Brother John is here in Delaware with me. Michigan, I have been to Michigan 2 years ago. My daughter bowled the Nationals there. We got to hang out with the great Hall of Famer Cheryl Daniels. But we were in Michigan for 12 days. Yeah, 12 days. You're not missing. There's always something pleasurable in every town, no matter how bad it is. We don't want to do that. There's some history in St. Louis, I'm sure I would enjoy. I'm a down to earth dude. fried fish sandwich on some white bread with some hot sauce. You give me that with some great conversation and a great spades table. I don't need much. Cold Corona, I don't need much. Now, if you're going to put the spades table up, you better know what you're doing. Because I'll start, listen, I don't know, but let me ask you this. Now you hungry. Actually, I'm taking the family out. Let me ask you this, and only my real spades players, right? Let me see if you're like me. If you play with somebody who can't play, are you the type that will quit or finish the game? Because I'll quit. If somebody sit down and they can't play, I will quit. I'll be like, what are you doing? You know what? Get up out of here. Oh, yeah, but and back to being hungry. Let me tell you something. That's a lost art. Frying a good piece of fish. Because a good piece of whiting, porgy, and I'm talking old school fish. I know, I don't know what some of these new fish are because my mother never had them, but a piece of red snapper, a good piece of fish don't need much. A little hot sauce, a little white bread, you good. But a fried piece of whiting done right. You don't need a whole lot of extra seasoning, but you do need seasoning. Don't get it twisted. Just don't be throwing your fish in no grease. But, but a good fried piece of fish, not fried to the point that it's burnt, on a couple pieces of white bread with hot sauce, you got something there. If you understand, hey, if y'all understand, put a heart in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. If you understand, thank you for the hearts going up. If y'all understand what a quality fried piece of fish is like, whether you like flour, cornmeal, but we do know, thank you, put a heart, there you go. Cornmeal's still the best over flour, I'm just saying. Flour's okay, but a good piece of fish needs cornmeal. I mean, seasoned cornmeal too. You can throw some flour in that bag if you like. I ain't mad at that. But I grew up in a house full of Southern women. You already know. Nothing better than a fried piece of fish and some hot sauce and not cheap white bread too. Don't go out like a sucker. Your bread will turn into mush, and you'll be sitting there with mush all over your fish. You don't want that. You need a quality, strong piece of bread. And if y'all know what I'm talking about when I say a strong piece of bread, you can't go out here and get your 85-cent thing of bread because it'll fall apart when you put anything on it. I'm just saying. It's funny how a good two pieces of bread will be great on fish, but it just don't hit the same with a hamburger. And I know I'm talking a lot. I'm hungry. I'm getting ready to go out to lunch in a little while. It just don't hit the same for a burger though. And if I'm wrong, y'all tell me. And I know I'm just yapping, but listen, I'm just hanging out this morning. Texas toast. That's a little thick though. Texas toast. Greetings. Hey, welcome. Texas toast is tough because it's thick. And people like to put a whole lot of things on Texas toast. So you might have garlic butter, you might have, and you're talking about too thick, especially if you're trying to make a sandwich. Now you might have to fold it over. Texas toast is one of those that you add to dinner. So you eat it when you eat at dinner. Hey, Jay. Wonder's the staple. You balance it with more fish. That's what I'm talking about. Come on now. You balance it with more fish. Can't go wrong with more fish. And actually, but hold up. If you've done it right and you're in the right place, you have more fish than you need. When you're in the right place, and if y'all know what I'm talking about, please put the thumbs up in the chat. If you're where you're supposed to be when you're eating fish, you got more fish on that plate to begin with. I'm just saying. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, then y'all ain't really had no fried fish. No southern fried fish, or, well, East Coast does some things too. I grew up here in New York and South Jersey. Actually, more New York than anything else. But I can tell you, great fried fish, you should normally, the minimum is 3 pieces. 3, 4, 5. A lot of times it's just them grabbing it by their hand and throwing it on the bread and giving it to you. You can't even see if you can see the bread, you don't have a real fish sandwich. I'm just saying. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me. If you can see the bread, happy Sunday, Kim. Happy Sunday. If you can see the bread, when they hand it to you, you ain't got real fish sandwich. You got to be able to shuffle the pieces around where you're getting more fish than bread. And I know I'm just talking. If you listen, you're going to hear what I'm talking about. And if you're going, what is he talking about? Then you ain't had a real fish sandwich. Fish fry straight out the grease. Yes, it's gotta be suddenly hot. The grease should be dipping down onto the bread. That's why you can't be wasting your time trying to eat it. You got to go right at it when it's done right. It should be hot. Should be where you can barely get it down, but you don't stop chewing because it tastes good. I'm just saying. And again, if you're just popping in, I am Keith, the crisis specialist. It's been over a year and some change since I've been on. And I just stopped in this morning because my plans got canceled. I was supposed to go bowling with my daughter this morning for a tournament. But because of the weather, we wasn't about to go out here and play around and get caught in a whole nother state. So we decided to stay home. I'm going to take my ladies out for lunch this afternoon. The grease got to be hot enough to melt the styrofoam tray. If it even makes it to the styrofoam. Actually, if they did right, they've already opened up the back of the styrofoam and vented it just so you can get to your car or home. So you're 100% right. If those vents are not open, your styrofoam should start melting if the fish is right. We got some fish eaters in the house, no doubt. No doubt. But that's actually where it is. True big back behavior. When your hot sauce sizzles, yes, when you can actually when the grease and the hot sauce clash and you hear the sizzling, you know you're on to something. You're good. And when you put the bread on, it starts to turn a little pink. You're right where you need to be at. And how's everybody doing this morning? Again, feel free to come in if you have any questions. Yes, I am a real therapist. Yes, I am a real author. Yes, I'm a real husband. Yes, I'm a real father. Yes, I'm a real person. I come on and try to offer a positive. Not young. See, I'm talking because I'm going to lunch. But I'm having Mexican food today. But now I might have. That's the one thing that I got to tell the truth. Coming to Delaware 10 years ago, I did not realize how much food I was giving up moving from New York here. And I just don't like to travel 45, 50 minutes for basic stuff that I could get when I was in New York. But you give that up when you move to the country. And I don't mind. I would move to the country 10 times over after spending 24 years in the New York City school system. But yeah, I didn't realize how much you're giving up. But like I was saying, I'm here. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. This is what I do. As always, be respectful. Not really talking about it. I don't have any particular theme. Hey, how we doing? Is that Black Rican Prison? Hey, how we doing, love? The sleuth. The sleuth. Don't leave your phone laying around. Black Rican will get you. Be careful. Where my other phone at? Let me make sure my phone's to the side. Take all the screenshots you want. You can get those degrees back there. My daughter's design, whatever. I'm leaving it limited because folks don't be playing. But we're learning what happens when you get the whole internet upset with you. That's a tidal wave I don't think anybody wants to fall under, but it is what it is. And I think people have to realize there's consequences to everything. I think it's more about how you accept the consequences. I wish all those young folks involved in that situation would. I hope they all get the healing that they deserve. And I'm sorry if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Brenay and Tim situation. I didn't set that to be the thing to talk about, but I'll answer any questions. I just hope all four. I hope Akira, I hope Devin, I hope Brenay, and I hope Tim get the healing that they need. I hope the justice is served, and I hope that the rebuilding can start. Right now, we're at a point where we have to wait and see what happens, and this is still salacious and this is still drama, but the teacher in me and the therapist in me prays for healing. And I pray for those children who are caught up in the mix of this. We tend to forget about them with all this salaciousness. Children take the biggest brunt. Yes, I identify we are seeing the aftermath of childhood trauma. Yes, and I mentioned that. Is that Black Rican? All right, I'm going to call you Princess. It's easier. But I think there's a lot of trauma to all four that's undiscovered, unresolved, that stretches back over years, that is not, thank you, I appreciate it. I try to make things simple. That I think has not been discussed, but unfortunately will not be discussed because of their actions. The one thing that everybody has to remember is that you still have to pay for what you do. But when you do things that are negative, it can override people understanding how you got there because they got to deal with the consequences. So as much as we want to pray healing for them, you first have to go through paying the price for what you did. Then you have to repent. Then you have to do the recovery work to become the new you. Not everybody knows how to do that, so they get stuck, or they don't want to deal with the consequences, so they literally will keep fighting. It's the reason why you ask a child, did you eat the cookie? Nope. They will deny it. And it's actually called the, I'm going to turn this into a therapy session. It's called the Kubler-Ross effect. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. So most people are going to deny it. What are you talking about? I didn't do it. Ah. Then they're going to get angry. Why are you coming at me about this? Ah. Then they're going to bargain. Okay. Can we talk? And then when none of that works, they're going to claim depression. And when none of that works, what's up, dog? When none of that works, they're going to then accept it. Most people don't get to acceptance because they get stuck in the earlier two stages. So they get stuck with denial and anger because they work. If I deny it long enough, you go on about your business. If I get angry with you, you go on about your business. If you stick and stay your ground and come at me to call me on my behavior, then I'll start bargaining. Hey, can we talk? Can we do it? And I want you to think of somebody that you caught cheating right now. Rock out with me. When you've caught somebody cheating, they don't admit it when you first say something. They deny it. Then when you press them, they get angry as if they didn't cheat. Then when you keep pressing, they get to bargaining. Don't leave. Can we do whatever? And if you keep at them, now the depression comes in. They're so emotionally destroyed. Oh, the world is falling apart when they created it. And if you keep at them, they finally accept what they did, and they're willing to do what's necessary to fix what's wrong. With Brenay and Tim, we're not there because their arrogance is connected to their youth. And their arrogance is connected to not knowing outcomes. They're young. And they don't realize how devastatingly bad where they are right now is, which doesn't give us an opportunity to deal with what's actually wrong or what got them there, because we still got to go through what they've done. And then when you invite the rest of the world to come get at you, and the world wants it instantly, now you're caught in a whirlwind that you can't get out of. Sin takes you farther than you plan to go, keeps you longer, and make it. Hey, 100% right, Kim. Business owner, you need Hey, Mo. Yes, it's been a long time. I had some canceled plans, so I came on live today. Let me tell you the crazy thing about sin, right? And this is very important. We're going to go to church a little bit today. Sin's whole purpose, the energy around sin, is to destroy. Now, please rock out with me. You can't destroy anything that God created instantly. So you got to wear it down. You got to destroy the home. You got to destroy the job. You got to destroy the person's body, their mind. But you got to get them to do it. Good morning. You got to get them to do it. Because those of us that are believers know that even the devil can't control death. God said that. So what happens is he has to tempt you into giving the life away. Well, that life, because it's so precious, can take a minute unless you just take the life. And if you just take the life, well, then the devil won. Then that's instant. But everything else takes a minute. Everything else takes a while. And then more sin comes. And sin can seem pleasurable. And often it does. And this is with There you go. Thank you. And this is one of the things that I do in my therapy sessions that I explain to folks. You didn't get here to this pain overnight. And if it's something like a passing, then yes, because there's a critical situation. But when it comes to behavior, behavior is learned. And if no one stopped you, and if no one intervened, if no one said to you, don't do that, well, you won't know it's dangerous often until you're too knee deep in the danger. That's what you're looking at with these kids. And they're kids. They're 26 and 25 and 27 years old. They're kids. But they're dangerous kids. Because you give a kid a whole lot of money, they hurt themselves. Good morning, Keisha. They're dangerous. You give a child a weapon, they're going to hurt themselves. We tell children not to run with scissors. Why? Because they're going to hurt themselves. So when you look at a 25-year-old, good morning, Doris. When you look at a 25-year-old, 26-year-old young lady who's clearly going through some things, and you throw a whole lot of money at her, she's going to hurt herself. But that pain goes deeper for her. And I would love to sit down to have therapy sessions with her to be able to unpack what was going on long before the internet. Good morning, V. I would love to sit down and talk with her. See, I don't hate Brenay. I hate what she did. I don't hate Tim. I hate what he did. I don't hate people because I know that people are the product of decisions, but they're also the product of how they were taught or what they refuse to learn. And when you get rewarded for bad behavior, you don't stop. You don't stop. You keep going. Hey, how you doing, Hazel? Good morning. And everybody that's here, welcome. Please, as you come in, make sure that you let me know where you're coming from. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you here. Yes, it's been over a year and some change, year and a half. I'm on. Got a little bit this morning if I break out. What time is it? 7:30. But it's very important that we understand that. And I've stayed away from talking about this because I wasn't sure how folks was going to understand it. But now that I've popped on a lot of different lives and offered my thoughts, hey, shout out from Atlanta. Oh, wow. Okay, okay, we got a gift. I was like, what does that noise come from? Thought something was on my phone. Yeah, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. But what I want everybody to understand is, and I understand why people are piling on it. Don't get me wrong. She brought it to the public, so the public brought it to her. So that part I'm not even going to argue or fight. What you do in the light, it's going to happen in the light. She came to social media to make her money, and the devil came back. But the thing that we got to understand is the only way through this is through it. She's got to lose it all, sadly, to realize that she has to become somebody new. And we get to watch that. And it's not something that we get to watch often. Very, very rarely do we get to see the beginning, the buildup, and the destruction of a person or a group of people. You're seeing it here. And as salacious as it is, it's still sad. $1.7 million is a nut that's so hard to overcome that if she doesn't keep doing something, the weight of that can be destructive by itself. And now with the fact that it's looming that now your husband may have a $3 million debt to have to deal with, that's $5 million in the hole. Most people may not see $5 million in their lifetime. I taught for 24 years, and when I did the math, it wound up being $2.8 or $2.9 million. And sometimes I go, I made almost $3 million teaching. Where the hell did it go? But now we talking taxes and everything else. So life was not supposed to be about suffering. We suffer to move forward. God didn't create us to be in a position of suffering. He said we would have to suffer, but he was the way out. She got it backwards. And so when we talk about grace, grace doesn't mean I don't whoop your behind. Let me just say that. And I'm talking Southern raising right now, so please pay attention. Grace doesn't mean that I don't spank you for doing what you did. Grace is that I sit down with you and explain to you why I spanked you. Grace is why I'm going to feed you after I spank you. Grace is when your mother and father came and said, you know, I still love you, right? So a lot of times I keep hearing that word grace thrown around and we forget what grace is connected to. It's connected to God. I could kill you for what you did, but I'm not. I could send you to hell for what you did, but I'm not. I'm going to grant you a way out. You may not like it, but I'm going to grant it to you. But here's the way out. You got to strip of everything. You got to give it all back. And then you got to figure out a way to be a new you with what you created. Can you do that? Most people can't. So they cry, they want grace. They don't understand what grace is. And I think that's one of the bigger problems that we have. So again, you guys that are new here, this is your first time seeing me. I am Keith K.L. Belvin. I am Keith, the crisis specialist on all platforms. And yes, I'm on live. I don't know when I'm going to be on live again. But I thank all of you for being here. And again, shout out to everybody here. And if you have not, you can please just drop where you're watching me from in the chat. And for a hot second, let's all get some purple hearts just to say hello this morning. And again, Dallas, shout out to Dallas. I'm here in Delaware. Shout out from Texas. Thank you, Kendra. Does that say sour? Sour candy? Wow, interesting name. Atlanta. Come on. Hey, there go the purple hearts. Shout out where you're from or drop some purple hearts in the chat. Want to be able to interact with you guys too. Illinois, there's St. Louis. Keep them going. Go ahead, guys. There we go. Puerto Rico. Oh my God, I stayed in Dorado. Loved it. I got a friend that has a restaurant in Old San Juan. Atlanta, Houston, Orlando, Mississippi. Okay. Good morning from VA. Yes. Thank you. North Carolina. Ooh, you in North Carolina. It's hot right now, ain't it? Atlanta. Thank you. Los Angeles. Hey, I've been to Los Angeles. Stayed in Palm Springs. Had to drive from Los Angeles to Palm Springs. No, we flew from Los Angeles to Palm Springs and rented a car. Yes, Dorado. Love Dorado, and we love to drive to San Juan. And the restaurant is 2J's on Hotel Road. Some friends that I grew up and played basketball with years ago own the club there. Big Texas. I haven't been to Texas. South Carolina. Yes. I've been to South Carolina. I've been a few places. And that's another thing, too. I'm 58 years old, right? I changed my life at 37. So imagine for 37 years being a whore and then trying to figure out how you're going to be something different. So I can't criticize or attack Brenay and Tim, but I can be critical of Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. That's where my son lives. One of my sons, anyway. I can be critical because I understand the danger of what they're doing. But see, the key is what they don't understand is they take no accountability, or no one has explained to them that what they believe is accountability is not. Saying I take accountability is not the same of being accountable. Can we say that? If y'all agree, put a thumbs up in the chat. They're not allowing themselves to be taught because the breadwinner can't be the person who's the least knowing. They're not getting consequences, so they will never. The consequences are coming now. Who said that? Gaza Ruby. The consequences are coming now. Because once it got to court, the game changed. That's what they never figured on. They know they're not winning now. Good morning. Hey, L. How we doing, love? I'm back. Look. They never counted on being here. They were supposed to ride off into the sunset like Django. Blow up the barn and y'all ride off together in love. No. They never counted on being in the court. They never counted on the multi-millions of y'all on TikTok, Facebook, and all the other sites running through everything that they do, analyzing everything that they do. Nobody on this planet could keep up to that type of weight. And that's what's destroying them. And it blew up in their face. See, Escape had this song, It Really Turns Me On That She Don't Know. And if you listen to the words of that song, the whole song is about, I'm excited about cheating because your girl don't know it's me and you. Well, cheating is always going to be sexy when you think you're getting away with something. It's when you have to deal with the whole person that you realize what you lost. And I'm telling you, as a former cheater, recovered cheater, nobody really cheats up. Most times, especially for us stupid dudes, we cheat down. So when you cheat down, you think you're getting ahead because you're getting away with doing things that are nasty. And the nastiness seems pleasurable, and it is. But then you think about, or you are come to the reality of what you're losing or have lost. And then when you are faced with that punch in the face, oh, it hurts. It is destroying him to see that even pregnant, she looks sexy. That's when you know you got a real one. When her body has actually changed and she's still sexy. And then you start to think, what was I thinking? And another man is smiling the way you used to smile. And here's where it really hurts. You know what that loving is like. You know what that loving was like when things was good. And now it's not yours. That hurts more than anything else. When you see the one that you did dirty, male or female, doing so much better, and then you know what that sheet game is like, and you traded that for some nasty moments with wipes, never the same. That's like trading a 4-star, 5-star Emperor bedroom for a little hump in the back of the car. Yeah, you got off. Yeah, it was cute. But you gave away the Emperor suite. You're going to miss my love. That's Lou Rawls. I had that. You're not old. I had that 8-track. And most people, not just Tim and Brenay, most people don't realize what they're giving up when they're cheating. But we get to watch, and that's what makes this so difficult. And most people don't realize that the reason why cheating is pleasurable but also dangerous is because it's momentary. It's a moment. So you traded everything for some good pumps. And I don't care if you was an outstanding person getting it in. Okay, let's give you a whole hour. Let's say you sweated it out for the whole hour. That was worth a lifetime? That was worth the ridicule? That was worth the fact that still hanging over your head is potential charges that could take away your freedom? Was it worth everyone on the internet coming after you every day that you can't live? You wanted to be famous. Well, as sweet the Queen Debbie Allen said, you want fame? Here's where you start paying for it. And what people don't realize, and I get this because I've sat with millionaires, and I've sat with athletes, and I've sat with entertainers. I've sat with people who have made a whole lot of money. A lot of them are not as happy as you think. Because the money might be there, but it doesn't mean that you have peace of mind. It doesn't mean that you feel safe. Now they're infamous, exactly. Your whole life changed. When at the end of the day, you could have just chilled. And the sad part is if you would have waited, if you'd have just waited 6 months, if they both would have just waited 6 months, get separated, get divorced, just waited 6 months, and then pop up dating, people would have questioned, but they wouldn't have said anything because we have tunnel vision on social media. We would have forgot about a lot of that, or we would have questioned it, but it wouldn't have been like this. But instead, you leave the person on Monday, and on Thursday, you in love with somebody else who you was just hanging out with, who's the cousin. Come on, it's stupid. And see, that's where us old heads sit back and look like you tried to microwave your life. You let the very thing that was putting money in your pocket become a noose. And then you put your head in. And now you're yelling and screaming about why everybody trying to kick the chair out from under you. Because you in the noose still spitting at people. What do you think's going to happen? See, I see it for what it is. She's scamming people to pay. Yeah, but see, the problem with that is People scam people every day, right? Even like the people begging, they scam people every day. She could have caught heat for that. I get it. This right here is different. This right here is different because what she never counted on, she believed she was the dominant entity of the four. She has the dominant personality of the four. She believes that she's the intellect of the four. Tim thinks he's the intellect of the four, whatever. But once you let the internet involved, once you brought it here, well, then people who have real intellect, people who are vibrating at a higher level, started to come at you. And instead of backing away and turning this off, she tried to go at those people. She tried to throw it in your face. You can't tell me nothing. Okay, you could do that within your four, maybe even in your home with your family. You can't do it to the world. You can't give the world the butt to kiss and then complain when they start to pucker up, but they pucker up in ways that you wasn't even thinking. It wasn't her job. She made it her job. She claimed it as a job. But most jobs require what? Experience, boundaries, a clear theme to what you're doing. There's also penalties on any job. See, I can claim anything. And if I get paid for it, then I must be right? No. Work ethic, another one. Thank you. Anybody can claim this is their work. But I'm a therapist. And as a therapist, I have boundaries that I am bound by. There are rules that I have to live by. There are things that I have to do as a professional that are required for the job for what the contract that I signed. I have a contract. I don't even work for the company that I'm contracted with. I own my own company. I have to have a lawyer go over the contract because when I sign my name, I am bound to the rules of the contract, and the company and I have agreed on the compensation. See, this is the Wild West. People are doing what I'm doing right now, and they're making money, but they didn't have any requirements. There was no application to fill out. There was nothing that said, to do this, you must have this. And so automatically, I'm given the title influencer. Everybody's a damn influencer. We were influencers in school. Come on, let's go this way. I don't want to. Come on. Okay, you just influenced them. You're an influencer. But the minute you start throwing money at people, the minute that people realize they can change their lives with this, yeah, it may seem like a job, but there's penalties on jobs. There's problems on jobs. It's the reason why most jobs have an HR. As an independent business owner, I have to make sure that my taxes and my government situations are straight, that my licenses are straight. I have to make sure all of that, my bank accounts, everything. It's not just me sitting here talking. It's the reason why I disappeared. And they seem to get paid more for influence. Yes, well, bad behavior's always made more money. We live in a world like that. The United States is one of the best places for that. Well, we hope. I don't know. Can't speak on the taxes. I hope, but you don't want the federal government in your pocket. No. You don't want them on the table. But salaciousness and sex always sells. That's why those of us that are not into it have to hold our ground and be okay with making less. I am okay that I make less on here than most of the people talking. But here's what most of them don't have. Which means if this goes off, those are still there. 2 master's degrees, a bachelor's degree, and an associate's degree. They turn this off, I'm still going to eat. They turn the book off, I'm still going to eat. They turn Instagram off, I'm still going to eat. I've written books. I speak. I have multiple streams of income that no one thing is going to dictate what I do. Hence, when this went down, people were losing their mind. Oh, my money. I can't. Yo, TikTok, you better stop playing. Why is TikTok even that position in your life? because there was no requirement for this. When surgery is needed, we offer minimally invasive. There was no job application for this. There was no state or federal licensing for this. All you needed was a phone. Always remember this if I don't tell anybody anything else. When it's too easy to be done, it's too easy to be taken. You can't take my degrees. Why? I'm still paying the student loans on them. No. You can't take my degrees. My name's on them. You can hold them if you like. You can't take my knowledge. My knowledge. Oh, my books. My websites is in the bios in my website. Just in all my websites and all my social media pages. Just click the link in my bio. You'll see all my professional everything. So all of my books are anywhere books are sold. But go to my website. And the reason why is because I'm gonna give you a little quick lesson as a publisher. Yes, it's okay to buy books from Amazon. Hey, Tab, what's up? It is great to buy books from Amazon because Amazon holds independent authors hostage. They take 55% off the top. That is why Jeff Bezos is damn near a trillionaire. When you're going to buy a book from an author, buy it from their website. Buy it from them directly, unless your job or your professional situation has to buy it from a licensed vendor. Then you get it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, wherever. But if you're going to buy it directly, get it from the author. Get it from me directly. My books are on everywhere books are sold. My books is everywhere. I own my own publishing company as well. So the idea is because Amazon takes 55% off the top. Hey, okay, what are we close to? The 99% of what today? I haven't paid attention to the number of hearts. I don't know what's going on today. It's been a while since I've been here. Thank you so much. But again, what I'm saying to you is always remember that, guys, and teach that to your children too. I spent 24 years teaching and as well as a dean of students, and I've been doing therapy for quite some time. Teach that to your kids too. If it comes too easy, if it's too easy to do, it's going to be easy to be taken from you. I don't want to be anywhere that somebody could hit a button and I now have no access to anything. And now I'm stuck. Now, can they do that digitally? Can they close the banks off? Yes. But this ain't going nowhere. And God willing, as older as I'm getting, smarter I'm getting. And I want you to practice that for yourself as well. So, and again, that's why I said I would love to talk to, and I've sent, believe it or not, I sent messages out to Devin. I sent messages out to Tim, and I sent messages to actually talk to him privately. I didn't want to do it live. I wanted to talk to him as an older man to both those young men to try to help them. Good morning, up. Just dropping in support. Now the whole TikTok don't need my wisdom because they won't sit through it. They'll say, what is he yapping about? He's talking too long. And oh my God, how long he's been on? Because we have no stamina. We don't realize that good takes time. Good food takes time. Good clothing takes time. Good lovemaking takes time. We don't realize that. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate the meme. We don't realize that this is content we want on my. This is the content we want on my feed. Peace, post often. I will post once or twice a day, and that's it. I make it a habit to not get caught up on being on this thing, and I definitely. And this is okay. Let me just say that it's funny you said the thing that is stopping me from going live. And the thing that is stopping me from really just diving into all this is because I will literally disconnect from social media for days. I will literally just stop because I do not like a constant string of negativity. I have boundaries for that. And this is the reason why I'm trying to create a private situation. And it's a private situation that's going to cost a fee. And I'm going to tell you why. Not that I'm trying to rob you or anything. It's because when people pay, they act differently. See, when it's free, you act a fool. Let me tell you why. You rent a car, you out here jumping hills, and when you paying the note, you taking your time. You making sure that tire right. You making sure everything is right. When you paying the note, if I create a private space, there's going to be a fee for that. And the reason why is because I want folks who want to be there. I want folks who are willing to have real conversations, because we can get to knowledge, but you got to be willing to allow the knowledge to seep in. That's why I said anything good takes time. Anything of value took time. It takes a diamond a long time to get there. We can all go out and get coal tomorrow. There's so much coal out there, we good. Ain't that many diamonds out there, because you need the things that set a diamond up. You need the pressure. You need the process. That's the reason why it's a very expensive stone. The problem with social media is there's too many voices of people that should not be heard from. Yes, I said it. I have no problem with telling the truth. This thing right here, the phone, has given people voices shouldn't be heard from. Now, you take that any way that you want, because what it's doing is it's drowning out actual things that people could use against foolishness. And if you don't think the devil is winning in that aspect, you crazy. Whether you're a believer or not, you can't tell me that you don't see that evil is winning. When we live in a country right now where people are trying to protect pedos, come on now. And I'm not going to get into the politics. Too many options and opinions become their facts. Exactly. We've gotten away from facts. Folks don't want facts. Actually, folks call you a liar when you actually fact check them. Or, as I said, denial and anger. First, they'll deny your facts when you actually show them. Then they'll get angry that you expose them. And now that's to get back to the foolishness. This is where we're at now. So why would I climb down into that instead of staying where I'm at and let people come to where I am? That's why I left going live. Keith, have you heard from the young lady? Have you heard about the young lady that started that God said therapy is demonic? I don't pay attention to that. Actually, therapy is created by God. All of the ologies, and this is part of what my degree is in, all of the ologies, psychology, sociology, all of them fall under God. CBT, cognitive behavior theory, falls under God. Jesus asked Socratic questions on a regular basis. Think about it. He's God. So why would he ask you, do you want to see, when he already knows the answer? Because it was to trigger you to think. John 3, until a man changes the way he thinks, he can't see heaven. Well, how do you change somebody's thinking? That's therapy. All of science and medicine falls under God. The misuse of science, the misuse of therapy is man. The misuse of medicine is man. Everybody calls what they don't understand the devil. Everybody calls what they don't understand evil. God used medicine in the Bible. Go look at Hezekiah and Isaiah. Hezekiah, God told me to tell you that you're going to expire. Hezekiah ran and jumped into bed and prayed. God then told Isaiah, tell my son Hezekiah I heard his prayers. I'm going to grant him 15 more years. And then the scripture said Isaiah went to Gilead to get a balm. Well, he didn't get an actual balm. He got a salve to rub on Hezekiah's wound. Why? Why did Hezekiah go to Gilead to get medicine? Because God wanted to show you I could use medicine too. That is for us, the reader. So you got to understand is that if we don't actually read for understanding, you don't understand. Why did someone all powerful need to send his representative, the prophet, to another land to get medicine? That's for us, the reader, to know that it's available, to know that it's possible. God could do anything. I'll give you another one. Show you, it's real simple. On the seventh day, God rests. Put a purple heart in the chat if you've heard this before. God rested on the seventh day. Put that in the chat. Put a purple heart if you've heard God rested on the seventh day. Come on, put it in the chat. We're going to go to school today. Put it in the chat if you heard God rested on the seventh day. Even if you're not a believer, we ain't going to take it deep into the church. We're just going to bring it to that first row at the door. Welcome to church and keep the stripes and specials. Come on, we're going to sit right. We ain't going to take you up front. We ain't that type of church. Come on. Keep putting your purple hearts there. We're not going to take you all the way into the church. Did God rest on the seventh day? Purple heart means yes. Okay. Here's my question. You guys can answer it in the chat. Why did God need to rest? He's God. Why did he rest? Y'all can answer it. You all agree that he did. Why? He's God. He doesn't need rest. Come on. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Why did God rest on the seventh day when he was God? Take your time. So nobody gonna answer, huh? Ah, there we go. Come on, John. Led by example. There's one. There it is. To take over, to look over, okay. To reflect, to model that we should work as well as rest. Thank you. Come on. Come on, keep going. There's your answers right there. To reflect and to teach. So if God could rest on the seventh, what excuse do we have to not reflect and to not rest? Which is the one thing that we don't seem to do on a regular basis. You see, that is therapy. That's called modeling, by the way. You model the behavior of the thing so the person watching can understand what is needed to do or be done. Excuse me, said the right way. You model. So God modeled. And then Jesus came and did the same thing when he came because he said, I come representing my Father in heaven. And if you want to look at the Old Testament, for some of y'all that don't even want to bother reading the Old Testament, the great Elijah wanted to unalive himself, a phrase that I hate, but I can't use the other phrase. I don't want to get banned. He wanted to unalive himself because he was scared of Jezebel. When the angel showed up, what was the first thing that the angel told Elijah to do when he said, I am of no more value? 1 Kings 19. What did the angel tell Elijah when the angel showed up when Elijah wanted to unalive himself? Come on now. I know some of y'all was in Bible study. Stop playing it. Some of y'all just coming home from church now. Come ahead, put it in the chat. What did the angel tell Elijah when he showed up when Elijah wanted to unalive himself? What would he told him to do? Which so many of us just don't do. Thank you for the hearts. He told him to rest. He told him to get some sleep. No, he told him to sleep. Not get up. Told him to rest. And then he had breakfast prepared in the morning. He ate. Then he told him to rest again. Then he had breakfast again. And on the third day, he said, come on, we have to travel. You now have your strength. See, we override rest. Lay under the tree and sleep. We override rest before travel. We forget that rest is needed for our body to recoup. And the reason why we reflect is sometimes we have to be reminded of the things that God has done for us. And somehow we get that all misconstrued. And unfortunately, back to what I was saying is you have folks on here who will make claims. This is my job. This is what I do. No, you got somebody giving you money for this. Well, be careful. If they're giving it to you, they'll take it from you. The other thing, too, is when you invite the world in, you also invite what they bring with them. See, everybody's not supposed to be in your house. Your mama taught you that. Don't you bring that girl over here. Don't you bring that boy over here. Because they knew certain people should not be in your house. Certain entities, certain energies, depending on what you believe, should not be in your home. Certain people should not be in your home. We all had that uncle that we were like, yo, where them kids? Where's Uncle Jay? Where Uncle Pete? Go get them kids. But yet you would open up the whole internet to your life because they give you money? That's a dangerous proposition, right? Think about it. To make her money, she has to expose herself to people she don't know to get money from a source she don't know, and then talks to that source like it's real, only to then find out that her whole life has been destroyed because of what? Her own behavior. That sounds like a Twilight Zone episode. What we got going on here? Why is my thing spinning here? Are they gonna ban me? Oh no, they want to make sure I'm not a robot. Oh, I gotta re-verify. There we go. Okay. They wanted to make sure I'm not a robot. So y'all gotta look at this deeper. This is why you gotta be careful of social media. You gotta be careful of just wanting to run and be live and run to be here and want to talk to a lot of people that you don't know. You gotta be in control. I'm in control of myself. My lovely wife is sitting. Where's she at? Where you at, honey? You back there hiding? Stand up or something. I'm not here talking to myself. There you go. Thank you. My lovely wife is sitting here, making sure I'm good. She's not just checking like, what are you talking about? No, she's just hanging out. You don't invite any and everything into your proximity. Look, what's the name of your friend from high school?
Who?
Tab.
Oh, Tamara?
Yeah.
Hey, Tamara. Did you get my message?
Hey, we're not talking no side conversations. Go reach out to her.
I want her to know I'm proud of her.
All right. My wife says she's proud of you, Tam. But that's the key. You don't invite everybody in, and be careful. Okay, I'll give you an example, right? Let's rock out this way, guys. If you're walking up the block and you're talking on your phone, and somebody handed you $100, what would you think? Put it in the chat. You're walking up the block on your phone. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And somebody hands you $100. What are you thinking? Put it in the chat. Hey, how you doing, Spell? Put in the chat what you're thinking. Thank you and run. Thank you and run. What's the catch? We got thank you and run. Why did you give this to me? Come on. What is this for? Thank you and run. Why are you handing this a setup? There you go. It's a scam. You see how none of your response take it and run. You see how none of your responses lean towards the positive. You all questioned why. Why are you giving this to me? So when you get on this here and someone says, just sit in front of your phone, talk for 10 hours, and I'm going to give you money. I don't got to do nothing else? No, not at all. Sit right here and beg, and people going to give you money. Really? I ain't got to do nothing else? All you got to do is pay your phone bill. We'll do the rest. Sound like pimping to me. And if I give you enough, I can change your life for a short time. Some of you don't even have to show your face. Yes, you could put a mask on, you could hide out, just put pictures up, whatever it is. And then you start to realize I can change my family's existence with this. You got to be careful. What comes with it? What are you inviting in? Crazy work, right? And this is why we have to think about it deeper, because we have to understand that all money is not good money, but also it's what you do with it. If you're going to do it that way, hit them and run. That's why we said take the money and run. I loved it, because do this long enough to set your seed money up. Take this long enough to put yourself into a position that you no longer need the pimp. But what do we know about the hustling game? Pimp ain't gonna just let you walk away. You don't get to go out here on these streets and just keep the money and walk away. No. That $25,000 she made a month, how much did social media make off of her, all of the platforms? And how much of her spirit did she give away? What be the person that gained the whole world but lose their soul? Yes, she made $25,000 a month. Yes, she ate $5,000 food. All grotesque. I get it. But what did she lose? She traded all of that for her future. She sold her soul. And now you have a 1.7 and growing weight block on your chest. And no derogatory comments about her chest. that now you got to fight for the rest of your life to get out from under because the devil told you you could sit here and become wealthy. That don't sound like pimping. I don't know what is. And I don't think a lot of us are seeing it because she's not the only one. And the sad part is not those that are receiving. It's those that just sit there and keep doing this and keep giving them money. We got folks now who don't even want to do anything for it. Just give me, can I have some money, please? I want to eat. I don't want to work. I don't want to do nothing. Give me, please, because you have and I don't. And people give. And I'm going to eat myself to death in front of you and then ask you for more. And people give. If that's not evil, I'm going to watch you eat yourself to expiration. I'm going to watch you do derogatory things to your body. For what? And that's what the danger of this right here. That's why I disconnect. I see it. When you train yourself. No, he's not. What he's looking at is those of us who know better and saying, how come my kids who know me aren't opening up and talking more? He's not mad at the ones who are doing evil. He knew they would do evil. He's mad at us that say we know him and say nothing. He's mad at us that stay quiet. He's mad at us who quietly send the money so we can see the destruction of another person. Remember, Jesus said, away from me, I don't know you. We prophesied in your name. We casted out demons in your name. I don't know you. You didn't feed me when I was hungry. You didn't come visit me when I was incarcerated. Come on. You didn't feed the sheep. Think about it. When you're judged at the end, you're not judged with everybody you hang out with. You're judged alone. Which means you got to hold up to everything you said and everything that you did. That's what God is upset with. Why are my sheep so quiet? Don't they understand how powerful they are? Why are my sheep playing in the background? They scared of dying? I sent my son to show them death ain't nothing. But we talk a great game. And then we're scared to be the only person who says, I would love to help them. Instead of spitting all on them. I've done that. I've tried. I've reached out. I wasn't really expecting them to respond, but I reached out. All involved. Because I wanted them to know that somebody was willing to sit and talk with them. Now, if the first thing out of their mouth was, can we do it live so we can have you talk? Have a great day. I'm not here for the games. Real healing requires pinpoint focus. Because we got to close out the noise, guys. We have to know what is needed to get you to a better place. That ain't waving a phone in everybody's face. I believe that would be so beneficial if their hearts are open to receive. But that's always the key. Even the Lord does that. Do you know, as powerful as he is, he does not take things from you. He lets you destroy yourself. And that's the trick to the whole game. You can't ever say, well, God didn't do anything. God gave you everything. You played yourself. And then when you play yourself, you turn back to him, please save me. Oh, now you need me. Some he does, some he doesn't. That's the game too. This is not a nasty game. This is about choice. Do you think she allows any signs? Do you think she shows any signs of wanting to repair what she has broken? Yes, but she doesn't know that she's showing it because there's chinks in the armor now. And the expressions on her face, it's actually the eyes. There's actually a whole study behind EDMR. And it's the watching the eyes and being able to see a person's eyes to be able to explain what they're thinking. Her eyes don't show the brightness. And if you go back and watch the old videos, she would get so excited about what she thought she was in control of that her eyes are showing that inside she's struggling. I don't think she'll take accountability until she's lost everything. And she still may not, because some people will begrudge themselves all the way into the grave until it's closed. We just talked about healing last night. You definitely have to want to change. Oh, it's always about wanting to change. You can't change anything until, yes, and that's why the eyes are the windows of the soul. Great point right there. But that's what it is that many of us, once we embrace temptation, once we embrace evil, I said to you, the devil don't want to let you go. And his job as the evil entity on this realm is to destroy everything. That's why you don't let him in your house. He doesn't want just you. He has you if you're even contemplating coming to the house with him. He wants in the house so he can destroy everybody in the house. Think about it, guys. Let's be real. Let's talk now. The prodigal son, the father gave him the money because he keeps that son around his house. That son destroys the house. There was another son. I can't keep this kid here. This kid has already shown that he's going to violate the law by even asking me for his inheritance. I can't keep this kid here. You got to go. Take it. I'm going to pray for you. That's why he celebrated him when he came back. When the other son said, why are we celebrating him? He had his money. That's messed up. The first thing the father said was, calm down. Your money hasn't been touched. You're good. We celebrate him because he could have expired out there, but God brought him back. I'm not celebrating him. I'm celebrating the fact that he returned. And that parable is for us, that God is that father and we are that prodigal child. And if at any moment we decide to come back home, we can. Is there a possibility for Tim and Devin can realize Brenay is that they probably won't be able to have anything because of the violation between them? And I don't see anything happening between the three of them because of the level of damage that was done and what was said in public. And what's said in public is always worse in private. And I don't think she's the mastermind. I think Tim is as much as the problem as she is. That's why they gravitated to each other. And that's also why they're annihilating each other. Evil attracts evil, but it can't hold up against itself. Hence, that's why Jesus said, you call me evil, you call me the devil, but the devil can't stand against itself. That's not how it works. See, if you read scripture, it helps guide you. And I don't have to preach because I don't have to give you the verses. I just have to be able to show you how we apply it. That's why of the fivefold ministry, I'm a real teacher. Read Ephesians 4. I'm a real teacher. But if we can't actually apply scripture to what we do and how we live, how can we ever actually help and introduce other people to who God is if we can't first show who God is in us? And then how are we going to help anybody else heal if we can't introduce them to themselves, the new self? That's what I do in my therapy sessions. I have to introduce people to their new self, not who I want them to be, who the freedom that they gain causes them to become. That's what therapy is. That's why when I hear all these negatives about therapy, I know most of y'all haven't gone or don't really know a therapist. Therapy is not just laying on the couch and the cat sitting there with a notebook. It is a relationship between me, the professional, you, the person in pain, and the goal is to remove that pain and to teach you how to take care of yourself. The goal that I have as a therapist is to get you to fire me. Keith, what are you talking about? Because in firing me, it is you saying, Keith, I no longer need you. I'm good. And when that happens, I move on because I did my job. Yes, therapy is definitely a mirror. I just hold it up for you. And if I've done my job and you can move on, cool. I did my job. You're better. Now go help somebody else. Now go refer me and tell them that what I did because I got to keep this business going. Referrals work. Yes, thank you. That's a compliment. John fired me. See, I didn't say anything, John. I was not going to tell him that we work together. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. But you fired me for positive reasons, correct? Thank you, John. I appreciate you. See, I was keeping my ethical bounds the whole time. I acted like I didn't even know who John was. You see, that's what a good therapist does. He can have a whole conversation with you and nobody knows that y'all working together. You see, I used to be the wolf. Now I'm the shepherd. And I understand what the wolf is because I was him, but as the shepherd, my mindset is how can I protect the sheep? But because I know how the wolf moves, I know what to do. I feel bad for Brenay. I feel bad for Tim. But I do understand they got to pay a price for what they did and what they're doing. And Tim is going to be worse because you're disrespecting your children. One of the few verses of the Bible, this is very important, please pay attention. I believe it's Matthew 18, where the Lord says, if you cause a child to stumble or to sin, you are better off tying a millstone around your neck and throwing it in the ocean. Only two places, the end of the book and there, where God tells you you're better off offing yourself than doing what you're doing. And the other is if you take away from the Bible or add to it, you'll knock yourself off. Now think about that. Don't touch my word. Don't touch these children. See, y'all not reading. Y'all not reading. Only two places where the Lord is like, you better off, you don't want to face me on that. And it's important. It's super important. Thank you so much for the hearts. And my job is to try to help you not tie that millstone around your neck. My job is to help you not try to alter the word. My job is to make it make sense. That's why he said, I will judge the teachers harshly. I am one of those teachers, a real Ephesians 4 teacher. Therapy is teaching. And I did it well in the classroom, and I'm doing it well now. And I'll do it for as long as the Lord allows me to, and the skills that he gives me allows me to do it. That's why I turned this off. And I got to go to real work. And I'm not saying this ain't work. There's some people that are doing some wonderful things on social media. Just not me. Just not me. Because I need to be able to have interaction with you. And that's why I'm creating a private space. Because we got to be able to talk. Right now, it's just me rambling off, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't been on in a while, so it feels good. But I need to be able to interact with you. I need to be able to see your face. I need to be able to see the expression on your face when you ask me a question. But I want that space to be private. That's why I'm going to charge a fee. That's why I want it to be the way I want it. That's why I'm holding off, and that's why I'm taking so long. Because if I'm going to do it, then I got to commit to it. And if I'm going to charge a fee for it, then I got to be everything that I'm supposed to be because you are deserve that because you laid out money. I'm not begging for nothing. I'll work for every dollar that I get. But I'm always going to be respectful of who I'm working with and who I serve. Those two ground what I do. I walk away from whatever if it's going to put me in opposition to my Lord. I'll tell you why. I had a chance to be on The Biggest Loser. I had a chance to be on Biggest Makeover or something, The Weight Loss, what's name, and two other shows on Lifetime and something else. And the reason why you have not seen me on TV is because when we sat down in those interviews, and I drove to Philly, and the other one I think was in Manhattan. When I sat down with them, I'll ask you a question in a second. I'm sorry, Cece. I don't know if I missed it. I'll get it. How can Tim repent in the situation? Okay, I'll answer that in a second. The minute that I heard them start to tell me about how I couldn't wear my cross on television, or how I needed to be something different, or how I couldn't talk about God and other stuff like that, I said, you know what? Thank you. I don't want to be on your shows. And I asked the gentleman, I said, can I ask you a question before I leave? He said, sure. I said, if I had a yarmulke on, would you tell me I couldn't wear it? He said, excuse me? I said, if I had a yarmulke on, would you tell me I could not wear it to be on your show? He said, no. I said, then why do you think it's okay for you to tell me to take my cross from around my neck? His silence told me everything I needed to know. And I understood that I can't be on TV if it means I have to leave God at the door. I take God with me wherever I go. The cross is just a symbol. It's just a piece of material. God is who I am. And if you're going to tell me I can't talk about the very thing that saved my life, then I don't need to be on your show. Now, to your point, can Tim, and I want to make sure I answer it right, how can Tim repent in this situation? Actually, it's easy. Tim needs to turn his camera on like I'm doing right here. First and foremost, he needs to say, I am going to apologize to my wife, but I want to say to the world, I am sorry for the way that I treated my wife. I am sorry for the way that I treated my children. Yes, Brenay and I were doing things and have been doing things since we were 14, 15 years old. And I allowed that to get in the way of the commitment that I made to my wife when I said marry me. I understand that I have lost her. I understand that I was wrong. I am sorry that we lost a child together because I didn't understand who and what I was. I'm going to try to fix who I am. I'm going to get professional help for what I've done. And I hope that somewhere in her heart, she can forgive me. And then I hope that the Lord will do the same and forgive me. If you've read your Bible, 19 of those 26 books of the New Testament is written by a man who unalived men, women, and children. Yes, Paul unalived men, women, and children in the name of the Romans. And God used him to start the church, to write 19 of the 26 books of the New Testament. David cost 3 men their lives trying to cover up cheating. He lost 3 of his sons, and his daughter was essayed by one of her own brothers. But yet the Lord said, David is one close to my heart. Anybody can be redeemed. The question is, are they willing to go through the fire of the redemption? I wrote a book called From Gigolo to Jesus because I needed to tell my story, how I went from being a whore to a man of God. I've been a part of many miscarriages and ABs because that's what whores do. I've been with over 500 women in my life, and I'm not scared to say it. I was a whore, a good one. But at age 37, me and God had a real unique conversation. I know I needed to change my life. I went to therapy for a year and a half, and I started Bible study at the same time. I had to, one, fix what was wrong with me, realize that things that happened to me when I was a child is what was affecting my behavior up until that point. And then I needed a new beginning. And the Bible study and being closer to God, and because of God and my wife, I am now in front of you. Anyone can be redeemed. Now, it doesn't mean that you get restored to the same position. You may get knocked all the way down to back to start where this is all you have. But if you're there with a clean heart, nothing wrong with that. I'd rather be empty of pocket but full of heart than the other way around. And I can tell you that firsthand. That's another reason why I don't get on social media, because a lot of folks don't take what I just said. They know what they know. And they throw God's name around like it's a football or a frisbee. And I know that they never talk to God, because all that yapping, you don't get to do all that when you talk to God. You listen. I talk to God. I didn't say a word. I know what I heard. And you know how I know it was God? When I did what I was told, my whole life changed. And what you got to understand is that the God I serve can't be played with, which the way a lot of people choose to play. That's a dangerous game. Dangerous game. And I know that they don't know it because they don't understand it, because they have an issue with the church. They don't know God. They have an issue with the church. Well, the church fails God anyway. Go to Revelations 2. The church ain't doing what it's supposed to do. The church is where we fellowship. The church ain't what's supposed to lead us. Don't get it twisted. We in church right now. But we have drove so far away from God that we don't even go to church to get close to other people who enjoy him. That's on us too. And to the sister that said God is probably looking down and shaking his head, he's shaking his head at his own. Because he said, I chafe the ones I love. And chafe means I tear that booty up of the ones that I love. Why do we get at our children when they mess up? I'm your mom. I'm your dad. You don't do that in here. I better not catch you doing that up the block. Why? Because they're our children. We have a certain expectation of our children. So God isn't. God is not going to have the same thing for us. Come on now. We have to be able to be the representatives of the very faith we claim. Jesus said himself, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. I live by that. I want everybody who sees me to say, that's a man of God right there. Whether I'm joking, laughing, whatever. Am I perfect? No. Do I sin sometimes? Of course, I'm a man. I'm a person. I'm not perfect. My thing is language. Woo. Sometimes I curse and be like, Lord, forgive me. I'm working on that. And Lord, don't get me angry. I might say something crazy. Why would Brenay talk about God but doing all these wrong things? Oh, great question. Because she was never taught to understand who God really is. It's easy to talk about my Father in heaven when no one has held you accountable to the words themselves. See, once I saw how the mom acted at court, I didn't know what she was thinking before that. I just know what she posted online. But once I saw her act that way in public, and I said this on somebody else's live yesterday. Now let's stop and think for a second. The child said a man that came into their home didn't feed her. Now I'm going to talk to just the mothers right now. All the men that's in the chat, pull your car over to the side. Ladies, all the moms with children, listen to me now. And I want you to answer to me. All of you with babies, all of you with, I don't care if they grown. Every mother that's here right now, hear me out. Would you allow a man to come into your home and feed one of your children and not the other child? Would you allow that in your home? Would you allow a man that you brought into your home to feed one child and not the other? Thank you. Keep them going. Keep the nevers, and I'm going somewhere with it. Keep it going. Keep it going. Now, that is trauma that was allowed because we heard the child say it. This is why I said we got to understand what prompted Brenay to be Brenay. I don't know her story. I can only go on what she shared. So let's just go on what she's given us. Now, mothers, how many of y'all, and be honest if you've done this, treated one child better than the other? Not that you were trying to, or you did. Let's be honest about it. How many of you mothers have treated one child a little better than the other one? Please be honest. That's another one right there. Spell. That's another one. Yes, at times. Thank you for being honest. And I'm not judging you. I'm just having a conversation. That's trauma. Now, here's the dangerous part. Here's the dangerous part. So a man gets to come in and treat me badly. My mother clearly appears to love my sister, who looks just like me, treats me differently. What am I thinking about myself, moms? Dads, you can jump back in if you like on this. What am I thinking about myself? How am I feeling about me? Talk to me. A man said, I can't eat at my mother's table. My mother takes care of my sister better than she does me. I'm feeling insecure. I'm feeling hurt. Come on now. I want you to see it as I see it. She said herself, her precious Corinne. Always listen to the words a person uses. Rejected, of course. Listen to the words a person uses. Her gluttony comes from her trauma. Yes, come on. Now I want to keep going with this. If the man was allowed to not feed her, what else could he have been allowed to? Because if you go back and watch that video, she says, you know what you did. I'm not going to say anything. But then you told us about the food. So what were you referring to? Come on now. If we're going to talk, let's talk. Her own words. I'm not going to say what you did, but then talked about you not feeding. So then which is it? I'm telling you as a teacher, and I'm telling you, any of you that's ever read, when an author writes something and says, I'm going to tell you this later, but for now I'm going to tell you this, that means there's something else to be said. No, we know she lies. It's okay. But some things you have to listen through that cut through the lie, because then you have to check the behavior to the lie. When she lies, it's to gain attention. But when she's talking about her past, listen to her tone, changes. When she talks about her sister, changes. When she talks about her family, and then we find out from boots on the ground in court that she doesn't like her family. I wonder why. We know from past records she was moved out. Why? If a man would come into a woman's house and not feed the child. Also, their hypersexuality is another sign of trauma. Pulling your shirts up at church. We heard from Tim that they were being passed around and all this other stuff. Who knows if it's true or not? But hypersexuality, the tongues out all the time and the shaking this and shaking that are all signs of previous trauma. Look it up. Hypersexuality is an outcome of earlier SA abuse. How she dresses around children, how she dresses around people, but yet covers up completely when she goes out sometimes, or when she goes out, and look at her eyes. Why do you think she looks to Tim for acceptance, for comfort? And then when he's not there, looking, and the meme that all of y'all like to laugh at with her with the whipped cream, but her eyes are moving because of the sensation of the food. It's in the eyes, it always has been. The need to explain to TikTok. The need to explain while then saying, I'm not going to tell you anything while telling you everything. The need to say, y'all do too much, y'all are messy, while being messy. It's called projection. I'm going to project out and say it's you, the very thing I'm doing. And we see this with my man, the Orange Cheeto leader. All y'all are crooks, but he's convicted of 34 felonies. All y'all are liars, but he's told more lies than anybody that's ever sat in that seat. It's called projection. And then God closed her womb. And if it is true that she was with child and her mother or whoever told her you have to get rid of it, and then Tim's father says, I don't want you with her, and he's taken away, what was she left with, guys? Y'all not seeing it. And I'm not going to ask, I'm going to ask this question. And if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. How many of you never really recovered from the miscarriage or the AB at whatever age you had it? Just put a heart. No, put a rose in the chat. Thank you. You don't have to, just put a rose or a heart in the chat. Don't put your name out. Just put a rose in the chart that if you've never recovered. And when I say never recovered, I mean whether it's something that you think about, whatever it is. I don't want to trigger anybody. That's why I paused before I thought about even asking it. When I think about my past, I'm hurt by not understanding how much I hurt other women. And I know what I had to go through to change me, but I know I can't go back and fix any of the women. I can only pray and ask the Lord to forgive me for even placing them in that situation. And I know that for a fact that 5 women cannot have children because of the ABs they had fooling around with me. So now she is trying hard to conceive. Tim was taken away then, now he's back now. But imagine what that's been like. Then the behavior of 1 minute I like women, 1 minute I like men, or bisexual, whatever it is, the gender identification. Again, not sure which it is. Not sure. And then constantly being reminded of who you could be, because as a person that's a mirror image of yourself, it would drive most of y'all crazy, if not most people. And then that person is treated better. Are they treated better because that's why she used to always argue, who look better, who? And they would have that fight. But she has children. So no matter how much they fight, that one has 2 up on her. So we don't know what it is. That's why I said, unless I had a chance to talk with him, it's all speculation at best. But we got to be careful when we're piling on, that we don't stop and go, damn, I wonder what caused her to get here. Well, maybe it's because allegedly that her twins, kids, father might be, but then that plays to the game too. You might have his babies, but I have him. Again, go look up twin bonding. Twins have a different cognitive connection. It's not what we think. I dealt with a bunch of sets of twins in Brooklyn. Yes, it's all sad, but it still has to be dealt with because it's having an effect on the children who are there. It's having an effect on Akira who, my God, I'm hoping just get the term and let's get this baby here because the stress could be more. And I'm like, just get this child here. It has its pressure on Devin. Devin was able to lock it out to go lose the weight, which gave him a platform to push back on because he used his pain effectively. That's fine because he has a mother that's grounded. You can always tell when you see the parents. So when you see how calm mom was, you understand why he was calm. When you see how out of control her mom, Renee's mom is, there you go. That's why you see her being out of control. It's all there in front of us, like a storybook. There's no winners here. There's no winners in this story. That's why I pray for all of them. And there's children viewing all of this. At the center of all this, whether it's the nieces or it's the actual children from the union. How many times did they see mommy cry? How many times did they see somebody who was auntie, now mommy, now whatever, walk around butt naked, whatever? Why does she have? Because she stands for everything that she was not and cannot be at the moment. She's the epitome of what she can't be. And yes, most people are going to hate that when they don't have solid grounding.
In 2026, you don't need more willpower.
When you see somebody who reminds you of everything you can't be, when you used to be friends with them, oh, that hurts some people. And okay, I'm going to go to the chat. Let's be real, guys. When y'all was younger, were there some people that you did not like just because they seem to always do better, look a little better, have a little bit more? Put a heart or a rose in the chat. Even if it was in your own family, put it in the chat right now. Rose or heart. If there was some people that even now you might look at some folks, go, how they always get no? Put it in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. And then whatever stops you from allowing that to turn into something is based on how you were raised. We can't get away from how we were raised until we make a cognitive decision that we're going to not be that. There's an old phrase that says, the more we resist being our parents, the more we become them. The way you break generational DNA curses is by acknowledging it and then doing differently. First, you have to accept that the curse is a thing, and then you have to simply say, I'm not going to be that. I grew up in the projects. I grew up whatever. But I wasn't going to allow that to be my forever. So I was the first one in my family to get a degree. And it's super important. And then I didn't stop at one. I kept going. Yes, those circles we ran in. 100%. 100%. And everybody has traveled in their own circles of negativity because that's part of growth. The question is, when do you choose to outgrow your negativity? By either getting help or changing your mindset. Again, what therapy helps with. It's what I do, but it's also what I am. I want to say to all of you, thank you, because it's been a while since I've been on live. If I have offended anyone or if I've triggered anyone, I apologize. That is not what I set out to do in anything that I do. I try to be as truthful and as upfront as possible because I don't want you leaving anything with me and feel uncomfortable about yourself. And if I have done that in any way, I am sorry. That's why I was very hesitant to ask the AB question. Because a lot of men don't understand what has happened to your body. They don't even understand that the request hurts. I didn't understand it until I got older, and now I fight for that. You don't have the right to even ask, but you do have a right to have a conversation about the future. And if that's what she decides to do, then you can fight her in court. But it's her body. And please understand that there's an outcome that is not talked about enough. And I think, unfortunately, that's what's happened with Brenay. There's a small percentage of chances that people who have ABs will no longer be able to conceive. And to see the fight within her to get there, she wants it so badly. But she hasn't done the other work to be in position, even to do a video, I'm going to have those babies. Doesn't even understand how negative that sounds, because they're not things to acquire. They're not toys. But she doesn't understand because she wasn't taught. There's low frequency going on here. We got to be careful that we're not finding joy in the low frequency. But when we say she needs to humble herself, does she even understand what it is? Do most people know how to humble themselves? See, humble is subjective until you make it objective. Most people don't understand what it is to actually say, I'm sorry, and mean it. Because you also have to take the implications of the I'm sorry into account. Most people don't. Most people think about what the I'm sorry is going to cost them, so they don't do it. So when will the mother take accountability because it starts at home? Why would she? Why would the mother believe that she needs to if she thinks she's winning? It's all about mindset. See, we're on the outside looking in. It's easy to tell somebody you should do this, but you have to actually stop and ask, does the person actually understand? Think about it. We got folks right now in Congress who are defending pedos, who know pedo is wrong, but yet defending it because they're thinking of the outcome, not the past that has happened. That's why you have folks trying to justify being a pedo. The scary part is she's blessed with kids, but a lot of people are blessed with children. It doesn't mean anything because they never took it as a blessing. A blessing is something that you acknowledge given to you by someone that you have no control over from a very special place. Most people don't take that into consideration. They don't see it as a blessing because they just don't, and so they don't react to it. Children have always been a blessing, but that's why when you look at some people when they're given children, you go, why would God bless them with children? That you got to take up with God when you get there. But unfortunately, the reason why is because we take children as ownership. They are my children. They're actually not. We're stewards. We're supposed to raise them to a point that they go off on their own. They're not ours. Never were. Hello, Keith. It seems to be over a year since I've seen you live. You helped me through a lot. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that, Dan. I do what I can. Yeah, it's been over a year and a half, actually. Longer. Can't you go on live? That's disrespectful. It's really about mindset, and it's really about grounding. And that's why I said it's easy to point fingers at Brenay and Tim because they put themselves out there to have the fingers pointed at them. But we actually have to stop and say, well, how do we fix it? How do we change it? How do we protect ourselves from what we're seeing? Some people force God to bless with kids when God said, we saw that with Hagar and Sarah. God said, I'm going to bless you with a child. Sarah didn't want to wait. So she said, nah, Abraham, you get with Hagar. And Ishmael was born. And the Ishmaelites turned out to be some of the most violent people on the planet because that's not what God said do. Many of us don't know how to wait. As I said, things of purpose, things of substance take time. Sarah didn't want to wait. She wanted what she wanted. Hey, welcome. Glad to see you stop by. Mother has to hold herself accountable first before, of course. But again, humble comes from accepting that your behavior is wrong. If I don't believe I'm wrong, what am I humbling myself to? Like when people say, why should I apologize? I'm not wrong. You have to accept the position to be able to humble yourself. Because then what are you actually humbling yourself to? Being a child of God is supposed to humble you to begin with, because if anything that you find out that you have done doesn't align with God, that by itself is supposed to humble you. But we've gotten past that. Crazy how they all come from church and don't know nothing. Well, because it was never about church. It was about our personal relationship with the word itself and how we then live our lives in connection to what we learned about the word. Church is where we were supposed to meet the fellowship to get together to celebrate God. It was never supposed to be the thing that leads us. We got that twisted. That's why we get to Revelations 2. 5 of the 7 churches were out of order. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do in reference to God. It has always been about a personal relationship with God. Most people don't know how to do that. So they relied on the church. And most people now, they only get their scriptural connection when they're in church. Why? What are you doing the other 6 days? I get that, but they quote scripture. Yeah, they do. And just like a lot of people will quote anything that works for them. Many people do it in the church, but other people who don't go to church do the same thing. Do you think Brenay and Tim have narcissistic tendencies? No. I think all of us have narcissistic tendencies. I don't believe they're narcissists, no. Because I believe there's a lot of trauma that's going on between them. And I think there's a lot of lack of parenting that's happened, especially when I look at the 2 mothers. Church's synthesis of the Bible. It's supposed to be a place where the Bible can be synthesized. But again, it depends on how your church is set up and are you actually leading. BDP possible. Let me see. Borderline personalities. Possibly. See, I don't like to get. That's a possibility, but here's the problem. You got potential Peter Pan syndrome. You have the twin effect. There's a lot of things it could be, but I'm gonna tell you why we should not. And arrested development is a thing, but not what people think. And arrested development, again, the reason why I don't get into all of it is because here's the problem with arrested development. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me bring it up for you. Define arrested development. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Arrested development refers to a psychological or physical state where an individual's emotional, social, cognitive growth ceases prematurely, causing them to remain stuck at a younger, less mature state. It often manifests in adults who exhibit childlike behaviors such as irresponsible, poor impulse control, usually stemming from trauma, neglect, and lack of guidance. So yes, there is a potential of that, but the problem with that, and we have to be careful, is because if we don't have a full breakdown of what went into her childhood, then we're just throwing stuff at the wall. So I tend to not do that out of a professional stance because I don't like to say, could it be, when we don't know? It could be a lot of things. The DDMS5 has a ton, is like 1,000, 5,000, whatever. There's a lot of things that go into their positioning. But what we have to be careful of is that stuckness that comes, her behavior can come from many things. And then again, we don't know what the influences are. So we have to be careful. But I think it's definitely there. And that's what professionals, when they get together, should have conversations so novice can understand what it is. But often all of these different therapeutic positionings are mentioned, but based on what? It's a limited source material. We're only getting what we see on social media. So based on what we see, yeah. But I believe there's more trauma there that's being let on. And that's the key. Is if we can get the trauma or understand the trauma, then the game changes in terms of how we could give the therapeutic diagnosis. And again, I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry. There might be form of PTSD there too, especially if she's been abused. And these are all the things that why therapy is needed. Because when you sit down and you do the intake and you create the profile, then you might need a psychological eval. And then from the psychological eval, it allows you, the therapist, to create the activities that's going to be needed to change the direction that the psychological eval or the psychologist found. We have that. And it's very important. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's another reason why I stay away from clinical diagnosis without all the information. It's not fair to them, and it's not going to give you a sound understanding of everything. Yeah, they definitely come off as bullies, but you know why? Because they were bullied. Because if you really look at them, does even one look tough? So a lot of times bullies who become bullies later on is because they're reenacting or acting out what was done to them. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Way to go, John. I see you down there cheerleading, John. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So they're definitely not bullies. Like, neither one of them is tough. Because, and then also, another thing that's not discussed is that all four may have developmental issues. Akira mentioned having a learning disability when she was in fifth grade. She thanked the teacher for helping her uncover it. I believe there's some of that with Brenay, and I believe there's some there with Tim and Devin as well. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't function. I just believe that the functional level might be lower. And because of that, we don't know to what degree, which there's a lot of things I could explain that shows to that fact. But again, we don't know. And all that has to be taken into account, because when we ask, why does she keep lying, or why does she act the way that she do? We don't know if she actually has the capacity to do more. That's the other thing, too, is that we cannot wage it against ourselves. We cannot measure it against our own understanding. I can't measure it against my own intellect. Well, that's why when you hear somebody go, well, I know because I went through. No, stop. Stop right there. What you went through does not mean it's the same as what they're going through. Now, you can use it as a reference. I get it. But you really shouldn't do that, because the two are not the same. And as people like to post on a regular, we are not the same. All right, guys, listen. I got to get ready to go out and take my family out to get some lunch. I want to say thank you to all of you. Where's my time? Here's what I want to do before I go. Let's flood the chat with purple hearts. Let's leave on a positive note. Shout out to John, who's been there promoting and cheerleading everybody tapping the screen. Let's just give a round of purple hearts. Let's keep that going for a little bit. Let's keep going with the purple hearts. That's how you can tell me thank you. Let me see the purple hearts. There you go. That's how you tell me thank you. I don't know when I'm going to be on again. I will look and see how I can work my schedule. Shout out to everyone. I'm not going to go through all the names because it would be too long, and I always miss somebody. I don't want anybody to feel bad. Thank you for sharing time with me. Thank you for your questions. If you have any other questions, hit my inbox. I got a ton of videos on my page, but also have videos from when I went live on my YouTube page. All the shows from when I went live are on my YouTube page. The link for that is in my bio. All of my books are in my bio. If you want to support me, go right ahead. But thank you. Thank you. Not me. Thank you. You gave me reason to be here for this time to talk. I appreciate you. Thank you. And if I didn't give you anything else, I pray I gave you something to talk about with somebody else. I hope I gave you something to think about. If I did that, then I did my job. Because if we can acquire something to think about, and that's it. No, thank you. You're appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. It's good to be missed. I can't lie. I do enjoy this. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do it. But thank you, Ellie. And, I'll reach out to you because you're going to be a major part in whatever I do, because I need your support. And Ellie is somebody that I had the luxury of meeting when I was in North Carolina. And do not think that you cannot meet people from social media and it's got to turn into something. It doesn't. And she brought her wonderful children with her when I met her. Thank you for trusting me around your kids. Plus, your son was looking at me like, you better not touch my mama. Yeah. So I thank you. And it was a pleasure meeting you 2 years ago. So I thank you for that. And again, I try to be or emulate what I would like to see in others. I try to be that. But I am this way in real life as well. I'm not different. I am the same way in public as well. I mean, why am I going to try to be somebody different online? That's corny. Thank you so much for the proper heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I walk with security. Yes. Even the little one, she was looking at me like, you better not talk to my mama too long. Yeah. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. No, I try. Hey, thank you. Thank you, love. We love you too. Amazing for us future therapy. No, listen, you guys, we need more. Thank you for the fact that you're even studying it. And remember, be to your clients what you know your clients need. Do not have a problem with being fluid like water and being able to become what your clients need, because the goal is to help them not need you. You can't do that if you refuse to move or budge. You will become very wonderful therapists as you realize, allow yourself to be fluent like water. If you're that way, you're fine. Thank you. I try to be the real deal. I appreciate it. It was definitely fun to meet you and the family. And thank you for everything that you've done as a moderator. So, and you guys that are coming into the field, please remember, be grounded in the idea that at the end of the day, you go home. Leave it alone. You go home. How do you think Tim will respond if you talk to him? I don't know. I think at first he would be very defensive because he does not trust anybody because he doesn't trust himself. So I think he would definitely be very defensive, and I think he would actually try to match intellects with me, and that's okay. I'm used to that. I used to run a young mentor, a men's mentor group for a few years here in Delaware. He's supposed to try the old bull. He has to see if I'm worthy to be in front of him. I'm always ready for that. And the one thing he won't be able to do is match wits with me. So at some point, he has to give in, realizing that he's not the most intelligent in the room. But that's okay. I'm used to dealing with young men in that situation. And after a while, what's going to happen is he's going to have to make a decision, whether he's going to stay here and listen to me or be whatever he's going to be. That's on him. So I know what I'm going to bring to the table. The question is, would he be ready to deal with someone like me who's going to cover every basis that he is in every aspect? I don't know if he's ready for that, but I would love to be able to help him if he would allow me. Because at the end of the day, we can't call ourselves men and women of God and not present God to those around us. We can't keep God to ourselves. That is why church fails so often. People huddle in the building and try to keep God to themselves and forget that Jesus spent all of his time out with people, more so than he did in synagogue. I've learned much because of you. Thank you. No, I appreciate you. Thank you. I thank all of you. So listen, guys, I'm going to run out. I'll be popping in and out from time to time. Again, thank you for following me. Thank you for the time spent. And again, I will try to maybe put word out when I'm going to be on again. Maybe towards the weekend. If my weekend frees up or something like that, I'll jump back on. And if you have any particular subject that you want me to cover on Therapy on the Move, which is what I do every morning on my way to work, let me know. I have people who drop subjects for me. I will gladly cover those in the morning. A little under 10 minutes when I'm traveling to work, I put words to whatever the subject matter is. I would love to hear from you. Drop it in my inbox, and if I pick yours that morning, I'll definitely we'll speak on that. Hey, thank you so much. You have been Jess, baby. Thank you so much. Love your commentary, love your questions. So, guys, have a great one. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.